Which one of the ponies that you've collected has been the hardest to find? The hardest to find would probably have had to been Portabella. She was tricky to find. Now I seem to stumble upon her all the time, all over eBay. But when I first got her, she was in a lot, and that was like 90% of the reason I even bid on the lot was for her. And she's just got a little mushroom cutie mark. Her name is Portabella, just like Portobello mushrooms. And she's really cute. She's adorable. She does come with a little hat and stuff, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get that. I just got her by herself, just loose, out of box. But she was super hard for me to find, and I just love her so much. She's so cute. Who's your favorite G1 pony? That would be either between Flower Bouquet. I have Flower Bouquet. She was one of the merry-go-round ponies. And Fizzy. I think Fizzy's colors are absolutely cute and adorable. In order of least favorite to favorite out of the main 6, what would it be? Love you, Manda. Love you too. Least favorite to favorite. Least favorite, Twilight Sparkle, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and then Fluttershy probably. That's order from least favorite to favorite. So favorite would be Fluttershy and Twilight Sparkle would be least favorite probably. What was the pony that came to you in the most poor condition when you got it, and what does it look like now? I got Pretty Pop in pretty poor condition. I don't know if you guys remember, because obviously you guys have been asking me questions on my pony account. And I had posted before and after pictures of her on my pony account, and she came to me super, 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 super ratty, and her hair was all frizzed out. Her cutie mark was almost completely rubbed. It was horrible, horrible. And she was just in super bad shape. She was absolutely horrible shape. She had marks all over her body, just everything, just super, super poor condition. I got all of her marks off, all of her scuffs off, and I repainted her cutie mark. So now she has a brand new gorgeous little cutie mark, and she looks so much better. I love her colors, and she just came out so great. So she is definitely one of my favorites that I have fixed up, I would say. Have you gotten made fun of for liking My Little Pony since you are 21 years old? Yes, I get made fun of for liking My Little Pony all the time. Mainly it's just from people over the internet, not so much people in real life anymore. That's kind of, I think it's just for the fact that I've become so confident with it that people who see me an actual person, like I will carry my Little Pony purse with me everywhere and stuff, and I'll kind of sometimes whip the pony out of the bag and like take a little photo, and people give me dirty looks, but they don't really say anything. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of I'm so much more confident with it now. Back a few years ago, I would not have had the courage to even go out in public with a My Little Pony purse ever, or a My Little Pony top, or just anything. And now I go to Walmart and I buy all kinds of pony stuff, and I go all these places and wear these pony clothes, and I honestly don't really care what they say. If they want to say something, it's not going to affect me, because quite frankly, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and if it makes me happy, it makes me happy. Years ago, it would have affected me greatly, but now I'm not even affected by it anymore. My friends and family tease me about my obsession with My Little Pony and Hello Kitty. What do I say? By the way, I love you. Love you guys too. Watch my Why I Love My Little Pony video. It will help you so much. Just like I said before, whatever they say, I don't even say anything back. Sometimes what I will say though is, when someone says, wow, you have an obsession with My Little Pony, wow, you're addicted to My Little Pony, sometimes I'll fire back with, at least I'm not addicted to drugs. At least I'm not addicted to alcohol. At least I'm not addicted to cigarettes. You know, at least I'm addicted to something that's not hurting anyone, including myself. It's not hurting me. I'm not internally damaging my body by collecting all these ponies. If anything, I'm making myself happier. And that's what counts, is making yourself happy. And as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter what anyone and everyone else say. It's just like, do you. Do what makes you happy. Be yourself. And that's like the best thing that I love about ponies, is they help me stay in touch with my true who I am. Why don't you like G3.5, and how do you keep all your ponies neat without it crowding your room? By the way, I love your videos. I showed you guys the shelves. And why I don't like G3.5 is it's not so much I just don't like it, it's just the fact that I'm not a fan of the mold. So as I showed you guys before, this is a G3 Pinkie Pie, and this is a G3.5 Pinkie Pie. I'll go ahead and zoom in. I just don't like the mold of it. I don't think that they look so much like ponies. I think that they kind of look more like little alien pony babies, but that's just my personal opinion. I think that the G3s look a lot more realistic, and also these were about the same price, and I feel that with the G3s during their time compared to the G3.5s when they came out, these were obviously worth more because you get more pony. They're bigger, so you get more pony, you get more hair to play with. These, you know, they're kind of cute, and you kind of get equal amount of hair on the tail, but just overall, I don't think, I don't know, I'm just not really a fan of them. It's kind of a weird mold. I don't have anything against it, I just am not a huge fan of it. I just prefer the G3 over the G3.5. And this was a question that I have been getting recently asked a lot. A couple people were saying, why have you transitioned from liking G4 to G3? And this one says, in the past you pretty much had only G4 ponies and you were a huge fan. All of a sudden you own tons of G3s and you rarely post about G4s. Why is that? Do you think people should only be fans of one generation of ponies? And is Fluttershy still your favorite pony? Fluttershy is my favorite G4. The reason, okay, I know it may seem like I'm just like obsessed with G3 and I've totally forgotten about G4, but that's not it at all. The thing is that I have always loved G3 ever since I was growing up. G3 has always been my favorite gen. G3 was just harder for me to find. Recently when I started getting back into ponies, G4 was all I could find when I went to stores. And G4 was always there when I went to Walmart and when I went to, you know, everywhere. And then I started watching the show and I started falling in love with that. And I fell in love with Friendship is Magic, and so I figured, okay, well, these items are super easy to find. I'm just going to pick them up wherever I go because they're super easy to find and I'm going to get them while I see them. And I had discovered I wasn't, you know, I was an avid eBay shopper kind of for the past few years. I've always shopped on eBay for, you know, electronics, phone cases, whatever. And I thought one day to myself, oh, I'm going to look up a G3 pony on eBay. And I looked one up and boom, tons were on there. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't have to search the stores, like, because they stopped making the G3, they make the G4s now, and it's so hard for me to go to, like, thrift stores and places like that when I have so much personal things going on at home. It's so much easier for me to kind of just shop at home, and to find out that I could actually get these ponies off of eBay, and I was kind of slow learning about how to, you know, get the G3s and G1s via the internet and all that stuff and trading and stuff. I was kind of slow on that bandwagon, but I finally got on it, and as soon as I found that out, I just went crazy. I did, because I had always wanted more and more and more G3s. You guys don't understand. I've wanted G3s like all the time, 24/7, all the time. I've always wanted G3s, and they're just hard for me to find. And with me being younger, I couldn't necessarily just get online and search for them. And since now that I'm older, I have my own bank account and I have my own PayPal account, and I can actually purchase items online by myself as an adult. So instead of, you know, being little and going, Mommy, will you buy this for me? Will you buy this for me? If I want something, I can kind of just buy it with my own account. So it's not the fact that I've totally forgotten about G4. No, not at all. I have G4 stuff. I still own all of my G4 ponies. I still collect G4 ponies. If people send me something that's G4, I still keep it. I love it. It's amazing. I love every and all My Little Pony stuff. And like I said, I buy the clothes. I wear the shirts. I have my purse. I have my keychains and all kinds of stuff. It's just the fact of it was so hard for me to find the G3s in that time frame. So I resorted to getting the G4s, and in turn of collecting all the G4s, it just made me more addicted to them because they were easier to find. But I've always been obsessed with the G3. That's always been my favorite since I was growing up. But I love all of them, and I definitely, if I find a G4 in the store that I like, or if I find a plushie, or if I want it, you know, I'll pick it up because it's to add to my collection, and I do still love and appreciate G4s. So yeah, I haven't just stopped liking G4 at all whatsoever. I love it completely. I just have been focusing more. I've just been kind of, like I said, I've been restarting my collection, and I'm restarting it with the ponies that I grew up with, and it's cool to be able to get in contact and touch these ponies that I touched when I was 4 years old, when I was playing ponies with my cousins, and it's awesome to be able to go back and be like, oh my gosh, I held this pony when I was 5 on my first day at kindergarten, and now I have it again in my hands. I was clueless when I was trying to find the ponies, so bear with me. So if people send me G4 stuff or, you know, whatever, I always keep it. I always cherish it. I always love it. Anything and everything that has to do with My Little Pony, G1, G2, G3, G3.5, or G4, I love them all. I do. I end up loving them all and keeping them all just because it's to add to my collection, and it's part of who I am, so I love it. What is the most special thing about collecting My Little Ponies? Remembering the stories behind them, and when I look at every individual pony, there's a happy story behind them, so I in turn feel happy. Even if I'm having the saddest, loneliest, depressing days, I can look at a pony and remember its past, and in turn it will make me happy and appreciative of the happy things that have happened rather than focusing on the negative things that are happening around me. So that's probably the most special thing. What is the best way you find to straighten or style ponies' hair with tinsel? I personally love tinsel hair ponies, but it's just a pain to get it looking pretty without just braiding it. Any tips? Personally, if I have a pony that has tinsel and it's just horrible, sticking out all crazy, it's all curly and just crazy, 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 I will either A, curl the pony's hair with rollers so that the hair is kind of as curly as the tinsel, and then it will all just kind of mesh together and create this kind of hot pony mess that's totally fabulous. Or I will just braid the hair. I find that just braiding the hair with the tinsel in it, it just keeps everything calm, keeps everything tame, and just makes everything all unison, because sometimes the tinsel can get pretty crazy. And here's an example of one that I've kind of curled, where the tinsel was a little curled and stuff, but it kind of just, you know, it kind of just blended together and kind of worked well. So I don't know, it all depends on your preference. If you like curly haired ponies, you could try curling them. If you like to braid it, just braid it. It's easier that way. It's pretty much just a personal preference. You can also remove the tinsel from the pony's hair. I've had a couple ponies that I've done that with, where I have actually removed all the tinsel from the pony's hair because it was just too chaotic and too crazy. What I will do to remove the tinsel from the hair is I use fingernail clippers, and I will go in and I will hold a strand of tinsel, just like so. And let's see if I can balance her on my knee here. And I will like take the fingernail clippers and I will go all the way down to the base where, say it's her scalp, where the root meets the scalp, and I will snip it. I will get as close to the base as I can and snip the tinsel. It is a very, very, very time-consuming procedure, but in the end, you have a tinsel-less pony whose hair you can manage a lot easier. And the last question is do you have any tips for buying vintage ponies? Like, are there certain things that you should check for or avoid when buying online, especially when buying online? The things that you definitely want to look for, whether you're looking for vintage G1s or if you're looking for G3s, whatever it may be, you want to look and make sure that there is no tail rust. And by tail rust, I mean at the base of the tail right here where the butt meets the tail. You want to look really closely at the pictures, and sometimes if you are unsure about ponies, you can actually contact the seller and ask them for close-up additional pictures, and they'll usually supply them with you, or they'll usually supply you with them. If you're serious about buying, they will usually send you up close, more detailed pictures, but you want to look for tail rust. And basically what tail rust is rusting of the base of the tail. It gets discolored, it looks rusty, and sometimes I've seen ponies where it's just a little tiny bit around the hole, and then I've seen some that are all the way out to the mid-tail that are just brown from the rust. There are a couple ways that I've heard to remove tail rust, and I've tried myself. I found a couple tricks and tips that I think might work, but I have yet to practice with that a little bit more. So I'll probably be able to do a tail rust video for you guys sometime. But I would also look for if you are offended by initials. Sometimes people would initial the bottom of the hooves for like their kid or something. If their kid took their pony to school, they would initial it for like a show and tell thing, so they knew who to return the pony back to if they were handing it around the room or whatever. So you can ask and see if you are at all offended by marks on the bottom of the feet. That would be something for you to look for, as well as any body marks. Definitely look for hot pink highlighter. I'm not sure if it's highlighter or if it's marker or what it is, but I've found that especially on the white ponies, it is super hard to get off. The pink, for some reason, the pink highlighter or Sharpie marker, whatever it is, does not come off even with the nail polish remover. It doesn't come off. I've tried everything. I have my G3 candy cane. She has an orange mark right here on her cheek, on the back cheek, and I cannot get it off. And it's just like the pink. And I don't know what it is about the white ponies, but they just kind of, it's probably because that they're white. They have more, it's more obvious of the color, whereas if you were to get a pink pony and it would have a pink mark on it, you wouldn't notice as easily, and it may blend a little bit better, so you couldn't really tell. But definitely with white ponies, you want to focus on those neon markings. Usually the green come off really easily, but if you see pink or orange, those are usually, stay far away from those because they don't want to come off at all. And like I said, just the basic blue pen ink marks and the dirt marks you can usually get off with nail polish remover. Definitely another thing to look for is haircuts. And ask for additional pictures and contact the seller and ask them if the pony has haircuts, because I've purchased ponies before that have haircuts and I didn't know it because they position the pony a certain way. Perhaps that they position the pony like this, okay, and you can't really tell, and when you get it home, you end up with a pony that has its tail cut and its mane cut, when the pony should look like this. So you can kind of, well, you can obviously see the difference. No tail cut, tail cut, tail cut, no tail cut, mane cut, no mane cut. So, definitely, these are the exact same pony. These are both Garden Wishes, the unicorn. But I had originally gotten this one, and I had actually got it in a lot, so I wasn't expecting to get it with no haircut, but it wasn't a lot, and with lots, you're kind of, especially depending on the bigger the lot, the farther away the camera is from taking the pictures of the pony, so you can't really zoom in and see good enough detail. So I wasn't aware at all. She's in perfect condition, mint condition, other than her haircut, which is a shame. But so I ended up having to replace her, or I wanted to replace her. So I got this one. So definitely look out for haircuts and tail rust and just initials on the feet and just things like that. Also, if you want to get really technical with it, you can look for eye scraping, which basically means the paint on the eyes is kind of just like scraped. Whether that's from being in boxes and jumbling around in someone's purse and the keys are hitting it, or, you know, a kid's played with it, and fingernail marks and all kinds of stuff. So eye scraping would probably be another one, and cutie mark rubs are obvious. You want to check and make sure that the cutie mark is not rubbed or it hasn't come off. And if you are the type of person that can easily fix those kinds of things, then go for it. Buy a pony that is completely and totally ratty and fix it up. That's one of my joys of collecting the ponies, is when I get a big lot. One of my joys is not only getting the ponies that are in perfect condition, but getting ponies that are in horrid condition and fixing them up and making them pretty again and giving them a second life. So that is actually going to wrap it up. I'm sorry I couldn't get through everyone's questions. There were so many questions for me to answer. I'm sorry this video was so long. Hopefully I could speed it up somehow once it's edited down. And I hope this was informative to some of you guys. Please watch my Why I Love My Little Pony video, and that should answer some more of your guys' questions. It will be linked below, like I said before. And if you want to check out my Pastel Pony Kisses account on Instagram for all my G3 posts. Yeah, with that being said, I am going to go ahead and go, and I will talk to you all in my next video. So until then, so long, stay strong, stay true, and be you. Okay, bye!
Oh, I'm so frustrated, I could just scream. Too loud. Okay, we're unfluttershying now. Oh! Look at her! Oh my gosh. That's so so weird. Okay, let me take this little wig cap off. There we go. Okay. There's my her. I gotta take my wings off. I believe I can fly.